You're a tenant in a home the bank technically owns for 30 years. True wealth is built by reclaiming your time and eliminating the hidden taxes of debt that keep you tethered now, the price of debt. Most of your monthly payment is swallowed by interest before a single cent touches your principal balance. Writing checks to a lender is like filling a bucket with a massive hole. By the end of this, you will possess a clear roadmap to escape the psychological trap of home debt while building legacy. Please subscribe to the channel so you never miss these contrarian insights that the banking industry wants to hide. Hello, I am Rabbi Soul, here to decode the laws of money so you can finally master this game. We are now diving into the F-squared rule to help you choose between investing and paying off your entire mortgage. Part 1. The Amortization Trap. The bank is a legal predator designed to consume your most productive years. When you sign a $500,000 mortgage at 7%, you are actually agreeing to pay much more than that. Amortization is the silent engine of the banking world that ensures the lender gets paid their massive profits before you build equity. The invisible math. Imagine your loan as 10 physical blocks where each individual block represents $50,000 of your total, $500,000 debt. You work hard for 12 months and send the bank over $39,000 in payments, hoping to own one full block. After 1 year of labor, you still owe $496,000. The bank stole $35,000 of your hard-earned money and called it interest, while your debt barely moved at all. In month 1 of your loan, your payment of $3,327 is split very unfairly against your favor. $2,917 goes to the bank, while only $410 actually reduces your growing principal balance. 88% of your effort goes into the pocket of a billion-dollar institution. You are effectively renting your own house from the bank for the first 2 decades, while they take no risk on your life. A modern form of serfdom. Even after 60 months of consistent payments, you are still sending over $2,700 purely to interest costs alone. It takes more than 241 months before your monthly payment finally contributes more to your principal than to interest fees. You spend 20 years working as a highly paid servant for a lender. The 30-year mortgage is the most profitable product banks have ever created because it relies on your ignorance of the basic math. This is why many people feel like they are drowning, even when they earn a high 6-figure salary every single year of work. You are fighting a mathematical headwind that is designed to keep you in the rat race for as long as humanly possible. Your home is a liability masquerading as a cozy sanctuary for your family. Until you understand that the bank is your partner in name, only you will continue to bleed wealth through $1,000 interest cuts. Wake up now. Now consider the promotion you worked so hard to get, which finally gives you an extra $1,000 every single month. You feel a sense of relief, but the bank is already waiting to see if you will spend it or hide it. Every extra dollar you send to the bank kills a piece of that interest monster. The decision to prepay is a direct attack on the amortization schedule that has kept your net worth stagnant for many years. Most gurus tell you to ignore the mortgage and put every spare cent into the volatile stock market to chase 10% returns. They show you shiny spreadsheets with big numbers, but they rarely mention the psychological cost of carrying $500,000 in debt. A debt-free life provides a level of power that no brokerage account can match. We must weigh the cold logic of compound interest against the reality of being a slave to a 30-year amortization schedule today. If you find this breakdown of the banking trap eye-opening, please hit the like button to help others see the truth behind debt. Understanding the enemy is the first step toward winning the game and claiming the freedom you have worked so very hard to earn. We will now analyze the tempting mirage of the stock market to see if it truly beats the certainty of debt destruction. Choose your weapon. Yeah. Part 2. The $1 million Mirage. The stock market is a seductive mistress that promises wealth while hiding risk. Many financial experts suggest that you should ignore your mortgage and invest every extra $1,000 into a low-cost index fund instead. They point to the historical 10% annual return of the S&P 500 as the ultimate reason to stay in debt forever. The math of compound interest looks flawless on a spreadsheet, but it often fails to account for the chaotic reality of human life, the dangerous lure. Let us run the numbers for your $1,000 monthly investment starting in month 13 of your 30-year mortgage journey right now. If we use a conservative 9% return to account for taxes and fees, your money grows to $1,834,000. Nearly $2 million sounds like a guaranteed ticket to an early and luxurious retirement. This figure is the benchmark that makes people feel comfortable carrying a $500,000 debt for 3 decades without any second thoughts. However, the market does not give you exactly 9% every year, like a clock ticking steadily toward your golden retirement years. In the real world, you might see a 30% gain, followed by a 20% loss that wipes out your recent progress. The sequence of your returns matters more than the average percentage you see on paper. If the market crashes right when you need the money, your $2 million dream can vanish into a cloud of red ink. Paper wealth versus reality. Consider 2 investors who both started with the same amount of money but experienced the market in completely different decades of history. One started in October 2007, right before the global financial crisis, and saw only 4% returns over 8 long years. 8 years of disciplined saving resulted in almost no growth because of terrible timing. The market can stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent if you are relying on it to pay your bills. Now look at the second investor who started in March 2009 at the absolute bottom of the terrifying market crash back then. They saw 17% annual returns over the same 8-year period simply because they were lucky enough to start at the right time. Your financial success becomes a gamble based on the year you were born. When you have a massive mortgage, you are forced to play this high-stakes game, whether you are emotionally ready for it or not. We must also talk about the invisible hand of the government, which is always waiting to take a bite of your investment gains. When you finally sell your stocks to pay off that house, you will owe capital gains taxes on every single dollar of profit. Your $1.8 million is actually much smaller after the IRS takes their cut. Ignoring taxes is a fundamental mistake that makes the investing strategy look much better than it actually is in practice. There is also the psychological weight of the lifestyle creep, which often tempts people to spend their liquid investment accounts on shiny toys. It is very easy to click a button and sell your stocks for a new Tesla, but much harder to sell your kitchen. Liquidity is a double-edged sword that can destroy your long-term discipline. A paid-off home is a forced savings account that provides a physical fortress that the stock market can never truly replicate. Many people believe they have nerves of steel until they see their account balance drop by $400,000 in 1 month. They panic and sell at the bottom, which turns a temporary paper loss into a permanent and devastating financial disaster for their family. Fear is the silent killer of the invest everything strategy. If you cannot sleep at night during a market downturn, the theoretical 9% return is irrelevant to your actual well-being. If you find this analysis of market volatility helpful, please subscribe to the channel to join our community of rational and logical thinkers. We are looking for the truth that lies beneath the surface of common financial advice that often leads many people into deep traps. Now we will explore why. And the guaranteed 7% return from debt prepayment might be the best deal you ever find. The power of certainty. Imagine the peace of mind that comes from knowing that your net worth increases every time you make a simple extra principal payment. You are not at the mercy of the Federal Reserve or the whims of billionaire tech CEOs when you reduce your own debt. Paying down debt is the only investment with a 100% success rate. We must compare the volatile 10% of the market against the rock-solid 7% of your mortgage interest rate today. Part 3. The certainty of 7%. A guaranteed 7% return is the closest thing to a financial miracle. When you pay down the principal on a 7% mortgage, you are effectively earning that exact rate of return on your money. Most high-yield savings accounts pay only 4 or 5%, and even 10-year Treasury bonds struggle to reach 5% in today's economy. The stock market offers the possibility of higher gains, but mortgage prepayment offers the absolute certainty of an immediate 7% win. Rock-solid math. Think about the risk-free nature of this choice, because there is zero chance your mortgage interest rate will suddenly drop to 0 tomorrow. Unlike an index fund which can fluctuate wildly based on global news, your debt reduction is permanent and protected from any market crash. You are essentially buying a bond that pays 7% tax-free every single year. In a world of volatility, finding a stable place to park your capital while destroying a massive liability is an elite strategy. We must also consider the massive tax advantage, because the interest you do not pay is money that stays in your own pocket. When your investments grow in a brokerage account, you eventually pay 15 or 20% in capital gains taxes to the government. Mortgage savings are invisible to the IRS and require no tax reporting. A 7% tax-free return is actually equivalent to a 9 or 10% return in a taxable investment account for most. Keep your profits. Let us look at the dramatic impact of adding that extra $1,000 to your principal starting in month 13 of your loan. Your 30-year mortgage is now completely paid off in just 16 years and 3 months, which saves you nearly 14 years of labor. You save $380,000 in interest payments to the bank. That is money you would have otherwise worked for decades to earn just to give it away to a wealthy financial institution. Of course, we must be honest and subtract the $238,000 you spent making those extra monthly principal payments. This leaves you with a net savings of $142,000, which is still a very substantial amount of real wealth. Total wealth is lower than investing, but your financial security is exponentially higher. Owning your home outright removes the single biggest expense in your life and grants you the power to walk away from stress. Imagine the psychological shift that occurs when you realize that your monthly survival cost has dropped by several $1,000s every month. You no longer need a massive high-paying job just to keep a roof over your head, which provides you with incredible life flexibility. Debt-free living is the ultimate insurance policy against job loss or economic recession. The ability to say no to a toxic boss is often worth far more than the extra dollars on a digital spreadsheet. Real-world leverage. If you value this logical approach to financial peace, please like the video so we can reach more people trapped in debt. We are building a community that prioritizes long-term stability and rational decision-making over the hype of the latest shiny investment trend. By destroying your mortgage early, you are effectively buying back your freedom $1,000 at a time throughout your career. Some people argue that you lose liquidity when you lock your money into the equity of your own 4 walls every month. While it is true that you cannot spend your kitchen, it is also true that you cannot be evicted from it easily. Home equity is a fortress that protects your family from the storms of life. We will now introduce the F-squared rule to help you find the perfect balance between growth and total financial security. Build your walls. Part 4. The F-squared rule. You do not have to choose between a spreadsheet and your sanity. The F-squared rule, or Freedom Fund rule, allows you to split your extra cash between market growth and debt destruction. This strategy acknowledges that personal finance is more than just math because it involves your unique emotions and daily stress levels. By diversifying your extra payments, you hedge against market volatility while simultaneously accelerating your journey toward a life of total ownership. The balanced path. One popular framework is the 60-40 split, where you put 60% toward investing and 40% toward your mortgage principal. This leans toward long-term wealth building while still making very meaningful progress on reducing your massive 30-year interest burden. You capture the upside of the market while consistently shrinking your debt. This middle ground prevents the regret of missing out on a bull market while ensuring you never feel stuck in debt. For those who value total balance, the 50-50 split is a powerful tool to build wealth and kill debt simultaneously. If you invest $500 and prepay $500, you will pay off your house 9 years earlier than planned. You end up with over $1 million and a paid-off home. The psychological boost of seeing your mortgage balance drop every month provides the motivation needed to stay disciplined for many years. Peace and profit. My personal favorite guide is the interest rate rule, which uses the current market environment to dictate your next financial move. If your mortgage rate is above 8%, you should prioritize prepayment because a guaranteed 8% return is nearly unbeatable. High interest rates are a direct emergency that requires an aggressive response. When the cost of borrowing is high, the math shifts heavily in favor of destroying the debt as fast as possible. If your interest rate is below 4%, you should prioritize investing because the potential market spread is large and rewarding. However, if your rate is between 4 and 8% like most people today, the logical choice is to do both. The 4 to 8% zone is where the F-squared rule shines brightest. Splitting your focus in this range protects you from the sequence of returns risk while slowly building your equity fortress. Tactical flexibility. Consider your current life stage because younger investors might lean 70% toward the stock market to maximize compound interest. As you approach retirement, you should flip the script and put 70% toward the mortgage to eliminate your largest monthly bill. A debt-free retirement is the ultimate foundation for a stress-free life. The Freedom Fund rule is not a static formula, but a flexible framework that evolves alongside your career and personal goals. Please subscribe to this channel if you want more frameworks that help you think clearly about your money and your future. We are here to provide you with the tools to build a life that is both mathematically sound and emotionally fulfilling. We will now conclude by looking at how to design a life where you are the master of your own financial destiny. Step into power. Your financial journey is not a race against others, but a battle for autonomy. The complex math on your spreadsheet is only useful if it serves the specific life you actually want to live now. Choosing between investing and paying off debt is a deeply personal decision that must align with your unique values and your long-term vision. Some people find peace in liquidity, while others find it in the physical walls of a home they own outright and forever. Neither person is wrong because they are simply optimizing for different emotional outcomes in an increasingly uncertain and volatile global economy today. The F-squared rule provides you with the tactical framework to stop guessing and start building a foundation that supports your mental well-being. A house can be a prison of debt or a sanctuary of true freedom. The story you tell yourself about your money matters far more than the decimal points in your high-yield savings account or your brokerage balance. Rewrite your story now. I want to hear your thoughts on whether you prefer the certainty of debt-free living or the potential of massive market growth. Leave a comment below and share your current strategy with the rest of our growing community of logical and dedicated wealth builders. Your engagement helps us reach more people who are tired of being lied to by traditional banking institutions and predatory lending practices in our society. Remember that money is simply a tool to buy back your time and reclaim your human dignity from the massive corporate machine. Stop being a servant to interest and start being the master of your destiny. This has been Rabbi Soul, helping you decode the invisible scripts of finance so you can finally win the complex game of wealth. Until next time, friends.